This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Bob, what's good, homie?
Mike, what's going on, man? Normally we get into talking a little bit about our day to day and intro and get right into bowling, but I definitely want to start the show sending honestly my thoughts and prayers out to Lewiston, Maine, and especially the bowling community, which is a super small family. It really is. And it's just such a tough situation, and I really just want to send my thoughts, prayers out to everybody, families, anybody who is involved or knows in that area of Maine, the Maine bowling community, and it's such a sad and tragic situation that when anything happens in the bowling world like this, it kind of hurts us all because we're all in this together.
Yeah, there's details out there. We're not going to get into them. This is not a political show. We're not here to talk politics, but certainly can't go without mentioning that that's on our minds. And yeah, I mean it was shocking to me as I was scrolling through social media last night and came across that report, and news outlets were sending that picture out, and you could see the front door of the place in the background, and you could clearly see bowling pins and a bowling ball logo in the background, and immediately, you just thought, man, this is now going to impact the bowling community. So yeah, definitely doing the show tonight with with thoughts on that as well. But we'll move it forward. Rob, no league. The people are going to be disappointed. No league review this week again. People probably think I stopped bowling. Well, I sort of did for a couple of weeks, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's soccer. Soccer rescheduling has kept me from league the last 3 weeks. But I'm confident that I'll be back next week. I think next week is the last week of the first session. And then the following week, we are debuting the new patterns that I mentioned a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back and I'll be bowling, especially for the winter. Schedule should calm down a little bit. So, league review will return. But no league review from me. How about you? Any bowling updates from you?
Yeah, I'm actually the bowling world, and I'm sure everybody, is losing sleep over the fact that I haven't been bowling for a while. I decided that I'm gonna start bowling again. I'm gonna start competing tournament-wise again. Goal is to maybe bowl a complete bowling event November's 12th, and then bowl the TAT in February-ish. I think it's at the Gold Coast. So I practiced last week. I felt good. I'm gonna keep bowling. I'm gonna try to not be so far in and then try to keep going in and out. I really want to stay in this time. Meaning I don't want to keep quitting and then not quitting, retiring and then unretiring. I really want to stay involved and stay bowling and maybe eventually work myself up to maybe bowling a Masters. Which would be a pretty cool tournament for me to go bowl. So the goal would be maybe to just start bowling the local stuff, going and bowling the TAT, and then maybe trying to bowl the Masters once a year, and just see where I'm at. Maybe the USBC Championship, whatnot. I'm not gonna retire this year. I hope anytime soon, Robert Hamilton. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, I do I do have to vent a little bit because my bowling equipment is kind of oldish, and I started to look at what balls I want to drill right now. And I always talk about how, we're a bowling ball epidemic, which is, facts, right? There's new release balls coming out every month, Mike. Every week, it feels like there's a new release, and we'll talk about the urethane, Storm's answer to the central urethane rule later in the show. But as a bowler who actually is pretty connected with a lot of high level bowlers, which is where I get a lot of my bowling ball advice from. I mean, and I'll just, I text Bill, right? I text Bill, I text PJ Haggerty, I text Jeff Fair, right? I text these guys and I'm like, hey, like, what should I drill? Like, what ball? My question to them was, what balls do I have to have in my bag? Like, I trust them more than I trust, watching a ball review video, or like watching a podcast even on a bowling ball or review, right? And even with their advice on telling me what to drill and this ball, you need that ball, and you get so much different advice from different people because everybody has their own preferences. It is really hard right now, really hard to build an 8 to 10 ball arsenal for tournaments, right? And for me, you need going into at least a sport tournament or a high level tournament like the Ong Open, like, the TAT. You have to at least have 8 balls with you. You have to have 8, 6 maybe minimum, 8 to 10 maybe most, right? 8 to me, that's the sweet spot of bowling balls is 8, right? Two
Most
triple.
serious bowlers that I know. I mean, do I have it? Do I have a lot of advanced information on the pattern or not?
I mean, no, I'm talking
Okay.
drilling. I'm not talking drilling balls specifically for a tournament. I'm
All
talking
right. All right.
drilling them to
So,
bowl like
all right, but I'm
everything.
saying, all right, even if I'm not drilling something specific for the tournament, do I have a lot of information about what I'm bowling on or not?
No, you're
Okay.
drilling up for everything.
All right. So let's say yeah, but all right. Let's say I'm trying to choose an arsenal for
Yes,
a tournament, right? And I don't have a lot of information about what I'm going to be bowling on.
correct.
Then I think that number you gave is insanely low. Insane,
8.
like, oh, insanely low. I mean, most competitive bowlers I know that are going to an event, if they don't have a clear idea of what they're bowling on, they are showing up literally with a trunk full of bowling balls. I mean,
Okay,
I'm
so
talking, I'm
wait,
talking
wait, wait, wait.
16 plus.
Wait. I'm talking bringing into the bowling center. I'm not talking
No,
what
but
you
see,
have
they're
stashed in the car,
no,
right?
no,
Or
no,
in your
no, no,
house.
no. But come on, they're all available to bring into the bowling center. If you know your gear and you're having a thought in your head like, what do I need right now? What shape do I need? What layout do I need? What surface do I need? You got to know enough to know that you got that in the car, and you got to go get it, and you got to throw it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the more options you have, I think the better chance you have at success in matching up anyway at
No.
different stages of the tournament.
Okay, because here's the deal, right? Like I get what you're saying, but
Now, if I know what I'm bowling on, let me just give the other side real quick. If I know what I'm bowling on, I have a real clear idea, have the information on the pattern and all that. Kyle King, I agree. 8 balls should be able to cover all the bases, right? But if I'm not sure on that, then yeah, it becomes a real crapshoot. I feel like. But go ahead, Rob.
so my thing is like if I drilled up right now, right? Because my stuff is really old, and I'm maybe carrying 2 or 3 balls with me from all my old stuff. I'm probably gonna drill about 4 in the next like probably 3 weeks, 4 to 5 balls, right? I I'm not gonna take. You can't take in all the balls with you, right? When you bowl tournament, right? You're probably gonna bring in 8, maybe if you could put 2 totes on your shoulders, and then you're maybe 10 max, right? The balls that are in your trunk, um, are like the balls that like if you have to go to your trunk in the middle of a tournament, you're probably already screwed, in my opinion. Like if you got to go to the trunk to get a ball that you've brought in 8 or 10 balls, um, and you got to go into your trunk to get a ball, and you've brought in 8 or 10, you're probably already shit out of luck by that.
Oh no,
Now,
I totally disagree with
well,
that.
wait. Let me finish my point. But if I'm bowling a tournament like the Agent Ong Open, where I have squads to bowl, right, and I could bowl like a one squad, and then I don't match, and I realize what's going on, and then I could go in the trunk and bring another 4 out. Different story. But if I'm bowling a tournament that has 6 to like 8 games, and I can't make my 10 bowls work within 3 to 4 games, I'm probably already screwed, and I'm already playing probably catch up if I have to go to the trunk and get 2 more bowls by like game 3 or game 4. Now, if I was a pro and I knew what the hell I was doing, which I'm not a pro, but if I knew what the hell I was doing, and you could throw 5 minutes of practice and look at the shot and say, oh crap, I got a ball in the trunk that might be really good for this, when I'm not even going to throw the 6 or 8 I have with me here, then maybe you would be able to run on the car, go grab it, come back. But I'm not that. I'm not going to be like that. I bring 8, and I'm going to try like pretty much everything I got until I have to go into the trunk to get more cars, to get more balls on me.
I just disagree with the point that you said. Well, if you're going out to the car, you're probably not bowling good. I'll be honest, like that hasn't
Probably
been
not.
my experience in watching guys bowl. Not the guys that are really, tuned in and there to win. I mean, they are looking for any slight ball advantage that they can get. So yeah, but I hear you though. I do. I think it depends on what level you're at. I think that was a really fair point.
The problem is though, is like trying to drill balls like I'm trying to drill right now to get back into the swing of things with bowling. I mean, I have no idea what
It's hard
to
to
drill.
decide what to drill.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'm drilling a purple urethane. Okay, have to drill that. That's the one ball. You have your staples.
You got to
right?
drill a venom shock. You got to drill a venom shock.
Whoa, that's the thing, is I actually had that lined up like to drill, and I'm like, maybe I just still kind of feel like it's a little bit older. Like I still feel like there might be newer, better balls out there than the venom shock.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
venom shock is a goat.
It is a goat,
Venom
but
shock is a goat. I feel like you got to have that in your bag. IQ Tour, got to have that in your bag. That's a goat. Purple Hammer, got to have that in your bag. That's a goat.
Virginia, I've been handed keys to get a different ball in the middle of a tournament many a time by different high caliber bowlers. Oh my goodness! And poor Virginia is running to her car every 20 minutes to grab a new ball. I swear to God.
She's not running to her car. She's running to somebody else's car.
Well, that's why I need to get a girlfriend or get married so I can bring them to a bowling tournament and hand them the keys and be like, "Hey, hon, grab me the 3 other balls that I'm not going to strike with." Anyway, so I'll keep everybody posted. I'm sure everybody really wants to know what balls I'm going to drill. But I did reach out to some really high caliber bowlers, like I mentioned. Bill O'Neill was the first text I made. Hey, what balls do I need in my bag? He told me 2 instantly. I said, all right, I there's nobody I trust more when it comes to knowing their equipment than Bill, right? Or knowing the shapes and stuff, especially how long I bowled with him. I mean, we've bowled
What
with
2
him
balls did he say?
He said a Game Breaker 4 hybrid.
Okay.
And the other ball was, I believe, I have to look at my text messages. I have it right here, actually. I forgot.
I have one of those. Good ball.
Yeah, do you like that?
I do like it.
And he said a Stealth Pearl or an Envy Tour.
Okay. Envy Tour. I like. I don't have one, but I've seen it thrown a lot, and that looks real good too.
I do, but I have like a IQ Tour. I have a blank IQ Tour. Like I have like, a lot of balls for early in the fresh, and I don't want to spend all my like time drilling up early fresh balls when I'm gonna struggle and need stuff transition and breakdown. Like you want to try to like divvy it up, like and drill balls for kind of across the like arsenal.
Yeah, well, what you're talking about is completely a result of the number of balls that are released today.
Oh, it's crazy. I don't even know. And it's like, and then I get a text from my brother who's like, yeah, I might hold off on drilling 2 of the balls you're going to drill because there's some new releases coming out. Like, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'll never be able to drill a ball because there's a new release coming out every month. It's like the iPhone, 15. Why should I get an iPhone 15 when there's an iPhone 16 coming out in 6 months? Like, you know what I mean? So eventually,
yeah, I hear you.
Like,
and nowadays, like they're tugging at your heartstrings too. Because every time they release balls, they release the teal rhino, They released
Piranha?
the Piranha.
The
I
blue
mean,
one. I love that ball.
how hard is it to not drill that ball?
I
Like,
know. I
even
love
if
that
that's a
Piranha.
dud,
It is
like,
probably.
it's just cool. It's just cool to drill it because it has
Yeah.
like that. It has that
Nostalgia.
that nostalgia, right? It has,
It
for
does.
sure. So
Well, they know what they're doing. It's a money grab a little bit, but some of those newer releases are okay. The one's new release was pretty good. The Cuda, you didn't see it. The Power Torque seemed okay. I don't know. They just kind of they're selling the nostalgia. It's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? When the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie comes out, you watch it because you grew up on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
no, it's really like that's a terrible example for a 40-year-old adult. But no, it's really like throwback jerseys is a better example, right?
Yeah,
Because the
sure.
throwback jerseys have a certain nostalgia about them, right? And they're very popular because people want to remember that time in some kind of way. And the bowling balls, it's an even smarter marketing idea because you actually get to throw the ball, so you get to use it. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I can't imagine. Like, could you imagine? We've talked about that. We sometimes go on a path in this podcast that some people might not understand, but we try and paint a picture for them. And we've talked before, Rob, about oh my goodness, the name is the Halliday brothers, the Holiday brothers from the JVT. Just to remind people real quick, there were these two brothers, decent bowlers, Mark and I forget what the other one's name was. Mark Halliday, and I forget what the
John.
other John, I think it was John, yeah. And they used to show up to every JBT with those the donkey rollers. You guys remember the donkey
12
rollers?
ball rollers, like 12 ball
No,
rollers.
I think they were 8 or 10 ball rollers.
8 or 10.
Actually.
It felt
Yeah,
like
right.
20. It felt like 20.
It did.
Like it would beep when you hit in reverse. Like it would literally start beeping. Like it was.
And they would show up with 2 of these, right? They both have 8 or 10 balls. And Rob, am I lying or am I not lying that every weekend, if you could bank on one thing at a JBT between 1994 and 1998, you could bank on the fact that both Halliday brothers were going to be throwing a brand new release. Brand new. So here's my point. Could you imagine the Halliday brothers today? Like, I don't care how much money their parents had. They'd be broke, son. You'd go broke trying to drill all these bowling balls. It's crazy.
Dude, it's nuts.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't even fathom like what you do with them once you're done with the balls these days. I still have dude, I have so many bowling balls that I need to get rid of. Like I'm gonna start giving them to like the juniors, like like I don't know, like selling them. Like I don't know what to do. But I can't keep them in the garage because they're all crack.
Oh my
God! So they're all under my stairs, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with some of them.
There was another kid who bowled JBTs whose name I do not recall. He kind of looked older. He looked like an older man a little bit, like he was bald and had a mustache, and he used to bring. I think he was from Maryland. or Delaware, and he used to bring literally one of those Home Depot carts. Like the push carts with the big open space on them and the big handle on the back. And he would bring one of those, and that thing would have easy 16 to 20 balls on it. Okay, and his dad.
Those things are great when you bowl in Vegas in the casinos, and you have to like wheel your balls up to the casino. Those things are the best.
Yeah, his dad would literally push this thing around all day from pair to pair, and I just used to think, nah, it wasn't Robert Rowe. Nah. No. Robert Rowe was always taking the train to JBTs.
Yeah, I saw him one time. I saw him one time crossing Route 1, carrying like 10 bowling balls, running with 10 bowling balls across Route 1.
One time, my mom and I took the train up to the JBT Challenge in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, and we got on the train in Philly, and he was on the train, and he had his bowling balls with him and everything. I think we shared a cab over to the bowling center and whatnot. I didn't even know who he was at the time, but yeah, interesting cat. But
anyway,
all right, we digress. So. Good luck with your ball drilling. I haven't drilled anything in a minute. I don't really plan to. Like, I don't bowl enough to justify drilling stuff right now. If I had something that I really wanted to bowl, or if I had the time to bowl, then I might drill some stuff up. But
For me, it's like a one-time thing. I'll drill 4 or 5 balls, and then I'll bowl for the next how long it is, right? And then I'll see if I need to add some balls as I go. But I need to like kind of. But that's the fun of it for me too. I call it a bowling ball epidemic, but it is fun. And anybody who, you know, doesn't think drilling bowling balls is fun, then you're probably in the wrong sport. So, it'll be interesting to see what the new reactions do for me, and then I'll just kind of phase them out and kind of bring them in. But anyway, yeah,
All
I
right,
appreciate it. We digress.
let's keep it rolling.
Yeah. All right. Well, we had the Agent Ong Open last week, Mike, and
Yes, I
people.
watched. I watched a little bit Thursday night while you were doing commentary.
Dude,
I
GT's
watched a little
got
bit
some
on
presents for me.
Saturday. I saw.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I hope it's round in about a 2,000 grit. Just saying. Yeah. So it was an awesome tournament, Mike, and I was able to go there on Thursday night, do some commentary for the booth for the sweeper. Stayed around for a couple of games of the action match. Carl had an amazing Wednesday night dinner. And just kind of like social gathering where we did the show last week from live. Great food, by the way. But it was an amazing tournament, and we wanted to bring Carl back on to just talk about a wrap up of the tournament, how it went on his end, how are the entries, will he do it next year, and then maybe even have him do Mike sweep the rack.
Oh no, that's what we're getting right into. Carl is
We're
coming
getting right
on,
into
and
that?
we're doing a sweep the rack style rundown of this event from
Okay.
Carl's perspective, and then he can have the floor for whatever he wants. He named the sweeper after our podcast, so if he wants to rant about whatever, he has the floor. But yes, first he has to give us the sweep the rack style rundown. So let's go.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Agent Ong, I'm good. I'm good.
Man, I'm still tired.
I can
We're a
imagine.
few days removed, and I still feel like I haven't slept enough yet. But it was absolutely amazing. So,
Dude, if Jimmy says my commentary is great, maybe I have a future in the commentary. All right, Carl. So we're gonna get right into the sweep the rack rundown before we'll give you the floor and talk about it.
Yeah,
so,
well, we got to give some background here.
I
So
thought we
Carl,
were into it. See,
I know, no, we are, but I want to give background so Carl understands
Okay.
fully what we do, right? So, every PBA tournament, Carl, after the tournament's over, we usually do a show the next day, and we have a formatted rundown that we do. So the first thing we do is we run the ladder, okay? And that's going to be you talking about, let's say, the final four. We want to hear about the last two rounds of competition, okay? Give us the details on that first. Then we're going to go through a series of categories, and I'll explain each one as we go along, and you have to pick some bowlers for these categories, all right? But again, this is what we do for every PBA tournament here, so you are going to give this rundown for the Agent Ong Open. So let's start with running the ladder. Give us the rundown of the final four, who was in it, what were the highlights, who was victorious. Break it down.
All right, so we have the initial four. They were on the top were Max Wieg, Alec Kaplinger, Anthony Simonson, and Cortez Shank.
Ooh, that's a good final four.
Yep.
That's a good final four. That's three. Who was the one name without major PBA experience there? Who was it?
It was Wieg, right?
No, he's bowled a lot of PBA stuff.
Alec Kaplinger.
Keplinger, the Wichita State
PBA
kid.
stuff.
Oh man, he's a beast. He's a beast. I love the way he throws the ball. All right, go ahead.
So that was, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the final four, the stepladder finals, but I mean, the scoring was off pace compared to what the qualifying was. Those guys got a chance they saw it enough to where they finally broke it down, and the scores were outrageous. But Simon actually qualified fourth. So he was in fourth place because he came out of the lowest to seed left out of the cashers round. So he was seeded fourth and bowled Cortez. He moved on, beating Cortez, and then moved on over to bowl Keplinger. Keplinger won, and then ended up bowling Zweig in the finals. So
getting it straight from Theo. Theo was in the day to day. I mean, he was grinding out there for days, so he knows what's up with the scores.
yeah,
That's crazy. That Zweig averaged 244 on that.
Okay, so Simo bowled Shank
correct,
and lost.
correct.
What was the score of that match?
Let me pull that real quick because that was all the matches were fairly close. So in that round, Cortez lost 247 to 279. So
On that
Cortez
shot.
threw an amazing game, just unfortunately ran into Simo that didn't really miss ever.
Simo doing Simo things. Okay.
I'm not missing.
So then Simo goes on to bowl Keplinger.
Correct. And that match was 256 to 238.
Wow, the scores were so high on a shot like that.
With Keplinger on the winning end.
That is correct.
Woo! And what can you give us? Are there any details of that game or that match that stick out to you?
What sticks out to me is the championship match, actually.
Okay, all right. So you got
Yeah,
Keplinger.
I don't mean to skip over that side.
No, it's okay.
Keplinger match, but Matt Zweig, I have to give him a bunch of credit. He was stone cold the last two frames. I'll tell you what, he threw just the purest three ball, even in the ninth. I mean, he threw the last five to force Keplinger to make good shots in the 10th. I mean, Matt just took his time and peered every shot off his hand. It was unbelievable. You guys, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch that step ladder. That step ladder the scores were outrageous. I mean, you look at qualifying, to make my cut after 8 squads was dead zero. It was even through 8 squads and 230 entries. It was zero. So
And then they're bowling like that, and they're bowling like that in the finals. It just shows you, though, Mike. It just shows you, like, regardless of how tough you could put the pattern out. And I saw it firsthand Thursday night on how tough they were. Matt Jones won the sweeper at 701. Second place was like 630. Okay, and that was like 70 something entries, right, Carl, for the sweeper.
Yeah, we had 58 entries in the sweeper.
58 entries and 700, and that field. I mean, just in the 6 pairs that we were watching first, it was like murderer's row of like bowlers, right? So for these guys in the finals to bowling 240, 270, I mean, was incredible. Like,
look at who it is.
I know.
Look at the level of talent. Look at the level of talent. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
So all right, so Zweig throws the last 5 to force Keplinger to get up and make a shot, and
the first hit, and he did not. And Zweig won. Zweig won on the bench. Watching.
What did leave?
Oh goodness! I want to defer to Theo. I don't remember.
Okay.
He didn't. He didn't get tapped. He just didn't throw a good shot. I don't believe in the 10th. But Keplinger Alec threw the ball great all day. All these guys. I mean, the finals were unreal. There were so many cliffhangers throughout match play. Not to call out some crazy shots, but let's see. In the round of 8, was it the round of 8?
So
no, the second round. Chris Mays needed a mark in the 10th to beat Cortez to go into the round of 8, and unfortunately, Chris Mays went Greek Church. Adrian,
hold on. Stop right there. We're going to move into the categories because you're probably going to touch on a couple of these things when we go through these categories. All right, Rob, what category do you want to give him first?
I want to know who he's riding. If you're going to pick one bowler that you're going to ride home with, and you're going to have let's just say your next tournament after the Ong Open is in Vegas, and you got to drive 5 hours to Vegas. If you were to pick one bowler from your tournament to ride with to Vegas, who would it be? And necessarily doesn't have to be Zweig because he won.
Right, and you got to tell him that
because he has all my money.
You got to tell him that we're also it's ride, not ride.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to pick one bowler that you would ride with, right? and again, it could be anybody for any reason, and you got to pick one bowler you would not ride with. Who would you not want to take that ride home with? Who had perhaps a miserable ending to their tournament or a bad performance, and you don't want to take that ride with them.
That puts me on the spot. I appreciate everyone for bowling, but
you don't have to answer it.
Well, you said. I mean, what about the guy that left the Greek church to lose? What about the guy you were going to tell us about that? I mean, if I would believe the Greek church to lose in a big spot like that, I don't think anybody would want to ride home with me. Greg Thompson saying he's nominating himself.
No, honestly, one of my dearest friends, but she had an unfortunate situation.
I know this story.
it would have to probably be Adrian at that moment. Adrian Hare, Mike Miller's daughter. It was such a. How do I explain this situation?
She needed a 4 count to win. And what she do?
She was up 1-0, and in the second match, she needed 4 to win. Unfortunately, I didn't actually see it, but she threw it out the window, and it hung on the rail, and it clipped the 10 off the corner.
Oh no!
Oh
no!
I would not be riding with.
It's an unfortunate situation. So she did not win the match, and then the third game, she got eliminated in the 2 out of 3.
Oh, so, I mean, well, how do you? It's tough to come back from that.
Absolutely,
Let's be honest, it's tough to come back from that.
She bowled great the entire week. So her and her husband Brian, I mean, they came all the way up from New Mexico. So that's probably the one person I probably wanted to give her space for a little while for obvious reasons. Sarah Clausen in the Desperado was probably another person that just unfortunate situation for her. What happened? So crazy scenario in the Desperado. Sarah and Garrett were tied for the 1-2 spot in the Desperado. Josh Anthony struck out to leapfrog them both to force the second person to get a tie. So we had to do a 2-frame roll off for them because they were both in the number. Someone finished the 10th last and leapfrogged them both to force a roll off for the last spot in the Desperado to make my tournament.
Oh.
So there's a lot of dramatics, but Sarah bowled amazing as well. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about anybody. They shoot up, they flew out, they drove out to bowl the tournament. So
no, we're not. We're never hating when it's not ride with. We're not hating. Like we pick not ride with maybe for, like you said, for somebody that just needs their space. Right. Guy misses a spare to miss the cut by a pin or something. Like, I'm not riding with that guy to the next stop. Like, he could be the nicest guy in the world, could win many titles and go on and bowl great. But like that day, that week, that ride, I ain't riding with him. Sorry.
I've previously have picked pros who have finished in second and might not ride with.
Well,
yeah, true.
Another example of another cliffhanger was Matt Jones. He bowled Keplinger in the second round of match play, and they were tied 1-1, and Jonesy lost to Keplinger 242 to 241.
I'm not riding with him.
You see what I mean? So there were just so many dramatics throughout the tournament. I really couldn't have written a better story if I wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
So who would you ride with? You said Zwig?
I mean, just because he has a lot of money, but no. I'd probably roll with Robert. Just we've been on the road together for so many years. We've driven across country together so many times. There's just too many stories and I mean Robert Smith. Sorry, Rob. Not Brooklyn Rob, but Robert Smith.
No, I know who you're talking about. Nobody wants to ride with me. I want to ride with Robert.
What lunatic would think you meant him?
Hey, I just wanted to make sure, clear the air.
Yeah. Who wants to listen to Sweep the Rack podcast for 5 hours? Because that's what the ride would be, us listening to me talk about bowling.
Looking at all the comments in the chat right now, so many of the bowlers that came out are in this podcast right now.
I know it's kind of wild. People
Theo,
knew that we were going to be
Sarah,
talking about
Greg,
it. Yeah.
Robert. I mean, there's Stu. Thank you for saying the kind words. Thank you.
Where's Stu at? Why didn't Stu bowl 10 grand? He probably doesn't live that far.
He's
Stu,
got houses out there too. He's got
I know.
houses
What?
out there.
That's a Stewart. That's a Stu question. I have no
Stu,
idea.
why didn't you bowl, Stu?
I have no idea.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right,
Well,
next
let's go on to the
category. Next category. What do you want to do, Rob?
So I want to talk about the milk carton award. So the milk carton award is for someone who bowls the tournament or bowled a tournament that maybe you haven't heard from. Like
In a while.
I'll give you an example. Like we one time I think George Branham III bowled a PBA tournament, and we're like, holy crap, George Branham III, Teal Rhino Pro shirt, he bowled a tournament, milk carton award. So if you were to give a milk carton award of somebody maybe who hasn't bowled and bowled your tournament, who would it be? Or maybe you knew from back in the day and they just randomly kind of showed up or just randomly entered.
It would probably be again Adrian. I have seen Adrian over 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So just so you know, we talked about Matt Burley a couple shows ago with the coaching at ASU. I ran into Kristen Burley, Matt's sister.
Yeah.
She showed up.
Yeah, she lives. I see her every once in a while. She lives close to me. She lives like 10 minutes from me. Yeah.
And then someone that didn't bowl the tournament that I haven't seen forever that I was just so happy they showed up was Mike Calderon from B3.
Yeah, Calderon.
It's hard to get him out of his center to be in another bowling center, and to see Mike and Brandy from B3 was so awesome, and having them have a chance to talk.
Mike, Calderon is married to Brandy, who's Brett Wolf's sister. She bowled for ASU.
Yeah.
So they run B3, and I'm used to seeing Mike drills my stuff. Calderon ended up. I always see him with the glass in front of him because he's always just drilling up bowling balls. And then it was just interesting to see him actually in the settee area, like walking around. I'm so used to you standing in front of a drill press. Anyway, okay, that's a good one.
So Matt I have to check back for a minute.
Yeah,
because you're blowing my mind with names from my past here. Matt Burley coaches Arizona State.
No. He bowled when I coached for that 1 year.
Oh, all right, okay,
So,
okay, no doubt. Does
sister.
he still live in that area?
No, I have no idea where Matt lives now.
Okay,
actually.
all right. No
By
doubt.
the way, Mookie Betts did bowl, and he was at bowling the sweeper Thursday night, and I was a little bit starstruck. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Mookie yet in person. Like that was the first time I saw him bowling.
So Mookie bowled quite a bit actually. So it was really an honor to have him out at my tournament, and having Simo come out as well. Simo was a last minute entrant, so I didn't even know he was coming until I think Friday morning. So
Nice.
Yeah, Mookie, I'm sure he's not really worried about the re-entry cost. It
was cool to have him out.
Just say it. I know.
Stuff, so.
I would love. Could you imagine just like give him hey, I'm Mookie Betts and I'm bowling a tournament. Here's my credit card. Like, just keep swiping it until I'm done.
He just pulls out a stack of hundreds. Like, here, does this take care of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, listen, that would be a great milk carton because he's been playing baseball for the last 7+ months. So hasn't been around the bowling community. I don't even remember the last time we saw him throw a bowling ball in anything significant. So that's a good milk carton too. All right, next category.
I don't know if I want to let Carl pick the dumpster diving gold medal, just being the tournament director.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna pass on that for Carl. I don't want him to have to pick somebody who finished low in his tournament. I don't think that's good for business. I'll be honest.
Carl, every week for the PBA, we pick somebody who bowled terribly, and we give them the dumpster diving gold medal award. So we'll lay off the amateurs here. We're not
I'm gonna defer that and pass on
that. No. We'll lay off the amateurs anyway. We don't need to be giving out dumpster diving gold medals to any amateurs. Pros are pros. They deserve it. They can handle it. They should bowl better. It's what they do for a living.
On the flip side, though, there was a lot of guys that came out that have never bowled competitively to take a shot out here, and I want to give credit for that.
No doubt.
Because there's one bowler in particular that just started bowling in June.
Okay.
And I explained to him the format and the competition and the pattern that he was going to be bowling on. And to his credit, he didn't care. He said he wanted to bowl against better competition, wanted to try a sport pattern, and to know what competitive bowling was like.
I'm sure he
Oh.
walked out of there pretty humbled to
And
see what the hell happened.
And he bowled multiple squads. So instead of a dumpster dive award, I would say like
that's
the sack up award, because he shoot up and he bowled, and he came back on Sunday with his son and just enjoyed the finals. He's just a fan of bowling that wants to get better.
I love it.
And I told him to reach out to B3 and talk to the guys and gals over there, because he's a true fan of the sport. And I was just super happy that somebody just took a shot, didn't care about the score, just wanted to see what it was like.
Honestly, you need
credit in the world.
You need about 1 million of those people in the sport around the country in order for the bowling world and bowling industry to flourish.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, man, if we could get more of those people, we'd be in much better shape.
Yeah, I think we're gonna give him the whoever that is. We're gonna give him the ICU Haas Award. I think we're gonna designate that gentleman for that award, because
I don't think he cares. We talked about him on the stream. His name is Nate Prince. So Nate, if you're listening,
shout outs to Nate.
We see you, Haas. We see you, Haas.
Proud of you for taking a shot in bowling.
Tell Nate if he wants to come practice with me in B3, I'll be more than happy to help him out free of charge. I'll give him some pointers. I'll be honest with you.
That's awesome. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just so we're clear, I see you, Haas, as an award for somebody that we feel like when we look at a PBA tournament standings, we look for the person that, whether they won, didn't win, made the cut, whatever it is, they had a really good, it was a good experience for them and a good run by them. So,
and he definitely deserves that award for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So anyway, I don't all right, well, one last award, the Spare Shooter Award. Spare Shooter Award is someone who missed a key spare in a match, or maybe multiple spares in a match. And I'm talking probably more of like later in the tournament, right? Was there a match that came down to someone needing a spare and they missed it and then they lost, or does anything like kind of ring a bell, or do you want to, stay away from that award as well?
To be fair, I didn't get to watch a lot of that match play because I was running around with my head cut off, just trying to make sure everyone was getting paid on time. All the matches were getting floored. I'm probably gonna have to go to Theo.
Brady. I see videos of Brady Bowl. Man.
Young Hoss.
Dude, that
the young Hoss is in the building.
Yeah,
he wants to know you letting him in next year. He wants in next year, son.
So I will tell you, Brady, we are smart certified. It was youth eligible. We've tried to make that announcement multiple times. If you bowl the JBT, we've announced that through the JBT, through Jeff Hemer. So unfortunately, we are open to youth. So I guess I'll just let the cat out.
Go get yours next year, young bull.
Oh, we're talking next year. We're talking next year already. What's going on, Carl? So let's hear it.
So I've talked to Theo, and I guess I'll just make the announcement here. We are going to do a second annual Agent Ong Open.
Second annual. Guess what? Guess who's going to be showing up to the second annual Open? Brady McDonough, and I hope I said that right. He's bringing the smoke.
Let's
and
go.
I love it.
I'd love to have you. I'd love to have all youth come out. We are smart certified and youth eligible, so
I love it.
I would love to have them.
Obviously too early for details, and we'll wait for that.
Nothing is super finalized. I will say that there's a potential sponsorship coming down the road that I'm super excited to be in talks with. Just don't know how it's going to work out and shake out yet, but the numbers were great. Our viewership on Bullstream was out of this world. So thank you to Emil and Chris Schlemmer, Roto Schlem, for basically broadcasting morning to night, 12, 15 hours a day of coverage. So thank you guys for that. And to all the bowlers that came out and took a chance on a tournament that no one knows what the hell it is.
Yeah, Robert's pissed that he's going to be have to fry out another 4 days. Robert Smith says another chance for me to fry out another 4 days. Great news.
No.
That's great news, Carl. So I'm excited. I might actually shoe up next year and
Oh, you're definitely bowling. Even if I have to give you like
a free entry.
I'll figure it out.
I don't know. I'm not taking a free entry from you, but I definitely
do not give him a free entry. Do not give him a free entry.
Will be pissed. Mike will be pissed that I didn't pay my way into the tournament. So I'm not even. I will deny the free entry, but I promise that I will bowl next year. You have my word. So that's good news. So we'll give you the floor, Carl, for a few minutes before we let you go. I know we're all busy. So yeah, we want to just bring you on just to kind of talk for the recap and the wrap up. But I also wanted to give you the floor. I know you wanted to talk to the Sweep the Rack community.
No, I seriously, it was a very humbling experience to see all the amount of people that showed up. I'm blown away. So thank you to Sweep the Rack. Thank you to all the people behind the scenes. Theo, Complete Bowling Events, Bowlstream TV, and all the participants. People traveled from Canada, Boston, and everywhere in between. The contingency from Family Ties, people from New Mexico. Just thank you guys so much for believing in the tournament and taking a shot on a guy that doesn't have a big name in the sport of bowling, but loves the sport. So again, thank you. Congrats to Matt and for winning the championship. I mean, like I said, he bowled stone cold all day Sunday and can't take anything away from him. To all the other finalists that made it and to all the bowlers who just showed up. Thank you. Thank you to Simo for coming out, Mookie Betts for making an appearance and bowling my tournament. I could go on forever, but Bolero. Thank you to Bolero, Kyrene, Jody, JJ, and the staff there. The mechanics, Bobby, John. They put on a perfect pattern that was super fair. No one complained. I mean, the cut score was 0. And one thing I will tell you about the finalists that made the cashier's round, age was not a thing. We had seniors and youth, or younger, I should say, men and women, one-handers, two-handers, bangers, and finesse bowlers. I mean, the gamut was in my finals and it's all captured on Bowlstream. Go ahead and take a look. There was nobody it wasn't lopsided in any way. So again, what an amazing tournament. And I could have done it without all of your help and all of your support. And I'm looking forward to number 2.
Us too. And I think Lumberflexual made a good post here that you need to mic me up if I bowl. And so here's the thing is Thursday night when I was on the commentary, I promised Emil and Schlemmer that I wouldn't curse for the 3 hours that I was on the stream, and I did it. I made that promise. I came through with that promise. I delivered. But if you mic me up while I bowl, there is no fucking way that promise would be the biggest debacle. You want to talk Grandin? Remember Grandin made the show and he was mic'd up? Oh, I am 1,000 times worse. The self-talk would be absolutely hilarious and it would be embarrassing. But I think it's definitely.
I don't know if you can self-talk as much as Robert does. He self-talks.
Robert has to talk. He does.
He does.
He does. A lot. I was listening to while he was bowling the action match Thursday night, which, by the way, was a really good action match. If anybody didn't get a chance to see it, Greg Thompson won the first 3. We thought we were going to have a sweep, and then Robert won the last 2, so it ended up 3-2, and then Greg ended up taking about $1,000. But maybe next year I'll make the open challenge for the action match. Maybe I'll get into it, but it won't be 1,000 a game. It'll probably be like 25 a game or something, and like a dinner or whatever. But yeah, Carl, we appreciate though. We really look forward to number 2. And obviously, we'll talk when the tournament is finalized and the dates and, maybe the bowling venue and whatever else, we'll definitely have you back on. And, in the bowling community, especially Arizona, talking from someone who lives here, as a bowler, we appreciate everything tournament directors like you and Theo do for the Arizona bowling community. Mike could vouch what Greg Tack does for his area, right? If it wasn't for people like you, people taking risks with financials to set these kind of tournaments, their time, bowling would not be in a good spot. So people like you, really, really important for high level competitive bowling, to keep it alive and to keep it going. So we as a bowling community want to thank you and appreciate what you do for bowling in the sport, honestly.
No, I
Well
appreciate
said.
you saying
Well
that.
said, Rob.
So thank you guys so much. It means the world to me. So
Cool.
again, I'll let you guys get back to your show. Thanks for giving me this platform and this time. But to all the guys in the comments, guys and gals, yeah. If you didn't get a chance to bowl this year, I'd love to have you guys. And thanks for jumping on.
Oh, it's blowing up next year. It's blowing up next year, son.
No,
I appreciate it.
Be
Can I
big.
get you
It's
to
gonna
come
be
out,
big.
Mike, next year as well?
If
Nah,
the
he ain't
time,
coming
if
out.
the timing's
He ain't
right,
coming
yeah. No, I would if the timing's
Mike,
right. I mean,
I got an open room here, Mike. I got an open room. I got a
know,
bathroom.
But the problem for me is that I have the kind of job where it's not simple for me to just take days off. Like I can't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to be here for Thursday, Friday, Monday," and take vacation time. It doesn't work that way. I only get 4 personal days a year. So
don't waste it on me then.
if I'm gonna use 3 of them to come bowl a bowling tournament that I'm gonna hack it up in, I better have a plan for that. But no, listen, I would definitely look at my schedule and see if I could come out for a day or two. Even if it was a short trip, I wouldn't mind doing it just to come and hang out. Even if I didn't get an opportunity to bowl, No, it would probably be more like a fly out Friday night thing. Okay. Fly back Sunday earlier.
Coming.
I don't know. You never know, man. You never know.
Right,
I'd love to make it out to that area of the country. I hear it's amazing out there.
So it will be the same time of year. It will be in October of next year. Is the only hint I can give you at this point. I'm finalizing the details right now. As soon as I give you dates and a venue, I'll let you guys know.
Awesome,
Carl. Nice job, man. Congrats.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Later. Sounded like it was an amazing event.
It was, and for a first annual event, I mean, it couldn't have been ran better. The money couldn't have been better. It was guaranteed money. 230 entries, a successful sweeper, action match that was getting hundreds of views on streaming on a Thursday night. And it's just going to improve, right? Like, just going to get better. It's going to learn, what maybe you could do to get the word out. Sponsors. Right? Sponsors make a huge deal. You could start maybe instead of 10 grand, you could maybe put 15 grand. Then when you start getting in above a 20, 25 grand, for first, then people really start paying attention.
Well, now you're talking PBA title money.
PBA title money, TAT money, right? Like there's a reason why the TAT is so good at what they do and they have all the money up. They're able to run it in a longer span during the week, and you got to start somewhere though, right? And for a starting point for what he did, it was pretty awesome to watch and be a part of. And, I was very happy to be there. And I got out of my little comfort zone on a Wednesday and Thursday night. I was able to see people I haven't seen in years. Right. And next year I will bowl 100%.
No doubt. We need more like amateur, even like amateur / professional majors on the calendar.
Oh,
right. Like it used to be
100%.
packed with, like tournaments just like this, where you could go and bowl at a highly competitive level for a whole weekend, but you don't see that a lot anymore.
Yeah.
It's coming back. It seems like coming back. You got Carl starting this. You got Chris Viale running the East Coast Mega Buck thing, right?
Greg Tack, you got CBEs, right? You got you got some other, I mean, it's just amazing. Like and just from being in this area for a few years, what Theo does with his complete bowling event, and now Carl doing with his, Agent Ong Open, just between the two of them, 2 people, you make the whole bowling world in the world of Arizona a better place as a competitive bowler. If Theo didn't do what he did and Carl doesn't do what he does, there's nothing to bowl. You're bowling handicap tournaments.
Right.
You're probably stuck to a local maybe sport bolero league. And you're trying to figure out a USBC Masters and the crap, whatever. But like knowing in this area that I could probably bowl a scratch event once a month is such a huge deal for a high competitive bowler like myself and someone like you. Like
Right,
you
and
just
then
didn't
again,
know you have that.
having something bigger on the calendar, right, that you can
Cactus
look
event.
forward to.
Because the
You know,
cactus is 10 grand, right? An Agent Ong Open, like
yeah, and you can
just
look forward to and say, all right, like
yep,
this is on my schedule to bowl. So,
yep, 100%.
all right, so Rob, let's quickly get into a conversation here about, last week about the. Let's quickly get into a conversation about the conversation that will never end. So last week we talked about the new hammer, NU, not urethane, right? The new blue, not urethane hammer, and then almost predictably, Storm this week comes out with what seems to be their answer to the PBA's new rule, and they have released a urethane IQ that supposedly is of the higher hardness level.
So there's a few questions and I have and some comments on this. First off, I'm not gonna say anything until I see the actual performance of the bowling ball. Okay. The not
They
urethane
put a
for
video
hammer.
out. It looks like it hooks. Everybody was saying these balls aren't going to hook. All I saw was the ball hooking. No, don't brush me off like that because you were one of the people saying that it wasn't going to
Yeah,
hook.
because it's an illusion. I
Okay.
watched this guy on Instagram. He calls it a delulu. He goes, "That's a delulu," meaning it's a delusion, right? You don't know. They could have put out a 35-foot pattern and then took a video. Mike, you don't know. This not urethane. The hype is so overhyped for this bowling ball. And then all of a sudden you're going to start seeing people blasting honor scores with it. Oh, this guy bowled an 850. This guy bowled an 830. You just don't know. When we will know, Mike? We will know within the first month of the PBA Tour season what's going on with these bowling balls, okay? We will know if they're good or if they're not. My question is as a bowler who doesn't bowl the PBA, who maybe bowls one regional a year that's in my local area, why would I drill a 78 hardness IQ when I could easily drill a pitch black? I could easily drill a purple urethane, which are softer but are legal with USBC and leagues and tournaments. Why would I drill these things? Why would I drill these balls with a 78 hardness level or a not urethane when I could just drill a purple urethane and get what I'm getting? These people on the internet that are talking about, oh, I can't wait to get this IQ 78 hardness. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why? Just drill a pitch black. It's softer. It's going to probably be better than this is for specifically the PBA players. No, Mike, this bowl is specifically a lot for the PBA players, but Storm is going to take this as obviously, look, no front to Storm or no beef with Storm because they're just trying to sell bowling balls, right? That they're a business. That's what they're going to do. But as a bowler, why would I drill a 78 hardness urethane when I could drill a 73 hardness or 74 with a pitch black? I don't know.
Because you already have a couple of the 73 hardness ones, and you love the hype.
Hype. It's overhype, right? It is what it is.
No, you love the hype. So here's okay. So do you remember the movie Anchorman?
Of course,
with Will Ferrell. Ron Burgundy, right? And you know the scene in Anchorman where Ron Burgundy and his crew, his news crew, are out walking around, and they run into the other news crew, right? And like they have a confrontation with each other,
this is a bilingual bloodbath,
and a bloodbath ensues.
Yeah, okay? Man on fire, and like wow, that escalated
honestly,
quickly.
I'm at a point with this urethane thing where I think that's what might need to happen between Storm and Brunswick. You might just have to get the ball developers and other people out on the field of battle, and let's just have them fight it out already.
Jimmy, are you listening? Can you put a couple of bowling balls on the heads of the scene of Anchorman when they're fighting
I'm
and
giving
have
out
them
gold
fighting
here.
each other? Yeah, and have them start
Okay.
fighting each other. Yeah, and there was a man on fire, and yeah, that escalated quickly.
Because this has become like, here's what we have. No, here's what we have. No, here's what we have. No, here's what we have. And I don't
Yeah.
know, like I'm growing a little tired of it. And I think like if this is the way it's gonna be, just get out on the field of battle and do battle, you
I
know?
don't mind bowling ball wars. I don't mind it. Lumber flexible with the comment, the man on fire is motive. You know, they're not even getting involved in this. But it's I don't mind bowling ball wars because to me, when companies are trying to one up each other, they're making better products for the people. I don't mind the competition. Competition always drives,
See,
good
but you
products.
say they're making better products for the people after you just made the point that this product is not really geared towards a lot of people.
No, but I'm saying is like future, like I like competition for future creation of bowling balls, right? Where they're obviously paying attention to each other, right? They're obviously worrying about what each other's doing, and they're going to try to make better balls than the other companies. So ultimately, that helps the public, right? At least in my opinion, it helps put better product out. But
Yeah,
this
I'm
product
kind of over
specifically,
it.
Mike, this product specifically, this IQ 78 hardness, this not urethane, right? To me, this is specifically for the PBA players to use on tour, and the bowling companies are just using it as a way to market it to the people so they could sell, which is fine. But as a educated bowler who understands equipment, why would I drill a 78 hardness IQ when I could just drill a 73 pitch black or a 73 hardness purple urethane if I'm not bowling on the PBA tour or plan on bowling any pro stops or regional stops in the next future?
Okay, fair enough. Uh, I mean, we're already getting into overtime here. Do you want to do Strike Derby or you want to put it off till our next show?
No, what's there to talk about Strike Derby? I didn't
I
watch it.
hear you.
You didn't watch it. Nobody watched it except for everybody else watched it because it was the highest rated PBA Tour show of the year.
That's
And
sick. That's sick.
I found out who won today when I was on I didn't even know who won. I don't care who won. The Strike Derby isn't for fans.
Chris Vi
Like
won.
Chris Vi won. I don't care about the Strike Derby. I didn't watch it. I didn't know who won. It wasn't even on a DVR. I didn't care.
As we are sitting here talking about urethane, Walter Ray Williams just posted on X, practice with hammer new and urethane balls. There's a YouTube video. It's awesome. Even the goat's on board. I love it. Even the goat is on the hype train. I love it.
Oh, so Nico's trying to set me off because he knows how pissed
I
I
know,
am about the
Nico. We're
Monday.
gonna talk about it when the full schedule comes out. All
All
right.
I know is if you really want to know how I feel about it, just go read my tweet. It's the most useless show, Mike. They could Monday afternoon really for a major. I get the fuck out of here, PBA. You guys have
He's talking about there being a Monday afternoon, the season opening,
live
the
at 2
Monday
p.m. my
afternoon
time.
finals
At
of
2
the
p.m. my
PBA
time.
Players
Fucking
Championship.
PBA, man. I swear to God. Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk more about the schedule when the full schedule gets released. But you want my initial thoughts on it? It's bullshit. It's bullshit that I gotta try to find a way to watch a 2 p.m. live show on a Monday afternoon. You know.
I hear you.
Anyway, Mike. All right. Is there anything else you want to get into before we get into worst of the week?
No, I think we could do worst of the week.
All right. Let's go. Mike, I have a very spicy worst of the week.
Oh boy.
Very spicy. So I'm going to give a warning to the people watching the show right now. Okay. My worst of the week is probably might not be for everybody. Okay. And it could, I don't know if it will offend anybody, but I do know that this has to get worst of the week. And I don't care if it really offends anybody. But I do have to show this, and I will give some little bit of play-by-play for our audio listeners who are listening to it in their car. Let me share my screen. And Mike, this specific video, okay, that I am about to show for Worst of the Week, I didn't even know or see this on any bowling social media out there. Okay, nobody in the bowling world has seen this. Okay, the only way I was able to come across it is because someone from work who's a non-bowler was like, "Oh, well, this came across their Instagram reel, and they were like, well, we didn't know if we were. They wanted to show me at work, because keep in mind, I am a senior manager." So the workers there are like, I don't know, we want to show this to Rob at work. I'm like, I don't care, show it to me. I'm going to do a bowling. And they showed it to me. And I was so happy. I'm like, thank the love of God you showed me this. Because now I have a Worst of the Week that is going to be for the ages, okay? So here it is. With no further ado, no overhype here. Okay, there's no overhype. So what I'm about to show you is from an Instagram reel called Acern MX. Okay, it's some Mexican Instagram, right? It starts with a video of a woman with an infant that looks like she's holding the infant. Okay, let me hit play. Come to find out, she's actually bowling while she's breastfeeding an infant, Mike. And she makes the spare.
She got the spare.
And then they get a close-up of her breastfeeding.
Oh,
and
my
then
goodness.
that's the video, Mike.
Oh, my
I will
goodness.
spare everybody watching this again, okay? Mike, this had to win Worst of the Week, okay? Like, there is no doubt in my mind that this random video of a woman bowling, breastfeeding, balanced, making the spare, and then getting a close-up had to win Worst of the Week.
I don't even know. That kind of left me speechless, I'll be honest. I don't even really know what to say.
I was at work.
I really thought I had seen everything in a bowling alley until you sent me that earlier this week. And I was like, wow. Like, that's some. I know. What am I supposed to say to that?
Oh, Charles Reeves with the comment of the year. And yo, that Simo's the most versatile bowler. Let's see Simo throw strikes while he's breastfeeding an infant.
Oh
my God. And she posted the shot. No, she's about 20 to 30 years too young to be Mamma Mia, Robert.
Yeah.
But, I would definitely bowl her on a Thursday night low average fun league with my 8 bowling balls and my shirt with my name on the back of it.
Could you imagine though bowling a league against that woman, and you give her some pins, and then she kicks your ass while she's breastfeeding her kid the whole time? I mean, that's gotta add to the frustration.
Oh my God, mommy, dude, Lumber, that was Mommy Mia.
Yeah, true.
Lumber's always got some good quotes, I swear.
All right. My Worst of the Week is from the Bowling Science Forum. No surprise there. It's from Anthony Guerrero. Congratulations, Anthony. You won Worst of the Week. He says that this is pretty self-explanatory stuff here. A video might justify, but I'm at a bowling alley where no matter what, a ball won't cut, even playing outside lane. Wondering if it's them not oiling right or whatnot. Only time a ball will hook is if you bowl under 10 miles per hour. No explanation needed. Worst of the week.
That's wild. Oh,
come on, guys. Come on. How is bowling a sport where... How did bowling... And this is too deep a question for this deep in the show, but I want you to humor me here and give me a quick answer. How did bowling get to a place where so many people think they know? Oh, no, hold on. Let me rephrase this because it's not really so many people. How did bowling get to a place where the majority of people that are involved in it think that they know so much about it, but are often wrong?
I don't know, just lack of education, Mike. It's just lack of coaching and education in our sport. It's always been an issue. It really is.
Okay, fair enough. I like that. I like that answer.
Oh, by the way, I'm about to share this video on our Sweep the Rack Facebook page of the woman breastfeeding because I want to be the podcast that originally was the one who found this. I don't want anybody else taking credit for it because, yes, I'm that petty. So,
It's Rob's contribution to the bowling world.
hey, you can contribute when you can, right? And this is my contribution for 2023. So anyway, all right, Mike.
You contribute. You contribute. You Saginaw Valley guys are too much. I'm telling you. I should have went to school there. I would have been on the dean's list. No question. No question.
Yo, Saginaw Valley,
magna cum laude.
You would have,
no doubt.
All right, Mike.
All right, Rob, final thoughts. My final thought is about and Robert just brought it up, is about this Jimmy Kimmel skit that I put out on Twitter.
Oh, God.
Terrible. If you haven't seen it, it's a skit where the hypothetical premise of the skit is that a pro bowler is pitching Taylor Swift to date a pro bowler, and he goes through a couple different pro bowlers, one being Kyle Troop, one being DJ Archer, who they gave the nickname of Chubby.
Tubby.
Are you Tubby? No, I thought it was Chubby. Was it Tubby or Chubby? I gotta go back and watch. I mean, come on, right? Who was the other bowler? Who was the other person they did? I forget who it was. It was Kyle Troop. It was DJ Archer. Oh, Tom Smallwood. It was Tom Smallwood, and they were making jokes about Smallwood versus Bigwood, and I mean, oh man, like why does pop culture have to shit on us so much? Like it's just so constant, and every once in a while something comes up where like pop culture just loves to shit on bowling. It goes all the way back to the infant. You brought this up on Twitter too. It goes all the way back to the infamous Kingpin. Okay, and since then it has always been like a go-to joke of pop culture that you could just shit on bowling.
I can't wait for the people to be like the non-bowlers, right? Where you see every day. There's always a few things they bring up when you tell them that you're a bowler, right? Did you see the movie Kingpin? Oh, yeah, Roy Munson. Did you see that guy who yelled at the crowd and he made no sense? Who do you think you are? I don't know, I am. And then now the third thing is, oh, did you see the Jimmy Kimmel skit with the Tubby and the Smallwood guy? It's like, it's just nonstop. And like people say, and then when you as a bowling fan get angry about it, you have other bowlers that will comment and say, oh, well, you must be fun at parties, or you must, and you must not have a sense of humor. And it has nothing to do with that because, as even though we, have a lot of serious bowling discussions, me and you, Mike, we love to also have fun. I mean, yeah, I just showed a woman breastfeeding while she's bowling on this show, right? Like we love to have fun, and mostly 95% of what we do on the show is usually a lot of fun. But we do have serious bowling discussions, right? And we want to see the sport being taken serious by the public. We do. Like we've poured our heart and soul into the sport our whole lives. That's all we've done, Mike, is grown up bowling, and we've always taken the sport very seriously, right? We've competed, we've spent our whole lives in, and for people to just kind of shit on it and make fun of it and think it's a joke, it wears on you as a bowler, right? You get annoyed about it. You want to see people taking it seriously, and I think that's what people don't understand.
Yeah, I think we're also like, because we're deeply into the bowling community. We're you forget about that at times. Like, it goes to the side, right? And then something like this pops up, and it's just like an ugly reminder of like where it is. And I feel like even sometimes being inside the bowling community, you feel like you're progressing, right? And you feel like things are getting better, and you feel like, oh, we're on Fox and the shows are better and the action's been good in the league and this and that, all the things we talk about on this show. And then when something like this comes out, you feel like it takes a lot of the shine off of those things, or it makes me think like, well, maybe we were only looking at it that way because we're insiders to the community looking at it that way. So yeah, it definitely stinks. I mean, I think there's a lot of comedy to be had in bowling. I think I could write a bowling movie that could treat bowling in somewhat of a serious way, but also be very funny or very entertaining. But yeah, it was. I did not like seeing that. 3Bet1 asked me what's the ball behind me. It's an Omega Lion. The story is that it cost me 10 grand on a ring 10 and a strike pot at Baker Lanes back in the day, and I threw the actual ball into the Delaware River off the Tacony Palmyra Bridge that night. And then Joe Paluzik, who's a friend of mine, to be a jerk, because he's also a jerk generally, got me the ball and drilled it up for me and gave it to me as a quote unquote gift, and as a reminder of me not winning $10,000. And it wasn't like I got 5,000 for second. I got zero because I didn't strike. And then 2 weeks later, or the next week, I think a guy hit the strike jackpot, tripping a 5-7 on the final shot. So that was nice to see as well. It made me feel great. So that's the
all
story.
right, Mike. I got a real quick final thought. Are we good with that? I mean, we could talk about that Jimmy Kimmel skit probably for an hour about how, like, bad the mainstream media treats bowling as a general. But yeah, I mean, it does go back to definitely prior Kingpin days. Anyway, so I saw that the PBA and Bowlers to Veterans made an announcement that the PBA Tour and the BVL were going to be partnering up, and I think we like to come down on the PBA a lot. We like to talk about Tom Clark and sometimes some of the questionable decisions they make, like a 2 p.m. live show on a Monday, which might not be his decision. Obviously, it's probably Fox more than it is anything. But we do like to come down on the PBA. But I do want to give shout outs to the PBA and Commissioner Tom Clark for partnering up with a great charity like the Bowlers to Veterans, who do a great job. I also come to find out that the BVL board chair is John Laspina, who I've also in previous episodes have given a lot of shit to about how he used to handle the bowling centers that I grew up in Brooklyn. But being, just talking about a good charity for the PBA to partner up with to help our veterans, and to have a big kind of like, they're going to be involved with a lot of what goes on 2024. And hopefully, they're able to fundraise and able to support that charity and make them so that they are being able to financially and also get support for that charity. So it's a good partnership, and I'm very happy to hear that. Yes, and Jim Ward, we've talked about Maine and Lewiston, Maine, and yes, definitely prayers out to our bowling community and bowling friends and all the people affected in the Lewiston, Maine area, and hopefully, it's just a tough. It's a really tough. What's the word I'm looking for? It's tragic. It's really tough and tragic for everybody. So we'll keep our thoughts with everybody there.
3Bet1, tell me throw it better next time, Mop. I'll tell you what, Mop. If I had to throw it again, I'd throw the same shot. That's how good I threw it, Mop. 10 grand on the line, and I aced that shit. So that's what I took away from it.
Like, yo, could you just email us and let us know who you are, man? Because
please.
obviously you know us, and we don't know who you are, but
It's not very
really
fair. It's not very fair.
I know. Yeah, it's not. Anyway, Mike. All right. Well, I think we went a little bit
in
over
terms
time.
of BVL, great organization. My dad was a Vietnam vet. So I'm definitely with that. In fact, a few years back, I bowled a local county team tournament called the Bar Trophy Tournament, and we won that event. And there were 5 of us, so I don't think it was all of us, but me and 2 other guys on the team actually donated all of our winnings to the BVL. Just because Johnny Petraglia Sr. was bowling the event, and he's the main ambassador for that organization. And there was a collection, and I threw some dough in the collection, and then when we won, I kind of just told the guy that had organized our team, like, just donate the money that I'm getting to the BVL. And then another guy who bowled with me was like, yeah, same for me, and a third guy was like, yeah, same for me. So, definitely an organization that I've supported in the past. And, like I said, definitely a worthwhile organization, charity organization in the bowling community. So, all right, Rob, we're going to wrap it up. We went into super overtime almost tonight. So I'm going to go to bed. I've had a long week, like you referenced earlier in the week, with Philadelphia sports and this, that, and the other thing. So I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Shout to Agent Ong. And obviously, if you're out in that area and you have real estate needs, hit the man up. Hit the man up. He clearly knows how to run a tight ship for how the tournament was run over the weekend. So don't be afraid to reach out to him in that regard. We appreciate everybody joining us. Blows my mind every week that we get people to come here and listen to our nonsense about bowling. It's amazing to me. So we appreciate that. Check us out on social media. He's Brooklyn Rob 11. I'm at the 215th. I know there were a couple things we didn't get to tonight. We'll get to them next week. We'll touch on them next week. Hopefully the PBA schedule's coming out, so we should be able to get into that next week. Everybody have a great week. Rob, have a great week, and we'll see everybody next Thursday.
Later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.